Hey everyone, welcome back to Freeze Frame. This is episode 2 of the amazing podcast me and my buddy Ryder started just last week. It's about movies, it's about TV, and it's pretty much covering everything you need to know when it comes to news and updates that may have been coming out within the last week. It's an absolutely thrill to be back. We love to be here, and I'm joined by none other, I mentioned him before, the greatest co-host in the business.
Oh man,
Ryder Maldonado.
Wow.
Hi guys.
What an intro. Thanks for that, man. Hope you're doing well. For those of you listening at home, you can check us out live, actually, on Twitch, recording the show every Saturdays on 12 p.m. PST. And you can check us out on YouTube, posted the very next day. And for those of you listening, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the news headlines. I guess we should start off. One of my first ones is a pretty sad one, and I think we need to start off with it. Unfortunately, Larry King, one of the great talk show hosts of our time, has passed away at 84 years old. Pretty sad to hear, but lived a long, very successful life, long life, doing a lot in his career.
Absolutely. I actually had the chance once to meet his wife for a brief moment. She used to work with a lady who was a publicist, and I was her assistant, and she came in. They were trying to make a campaign for her. And she always spoke very highly of Larry. I believe they divorced, or I think they were planning on getting a divorce. I'm not quite, I don't quite remember the details. But they were really close, and she would always speak very highly of him. Never anything bad, but he was a legend, man. That dude
Absolutely.
Was a legend in the radio world. Like, I think it would be about as same as losing someone like Howard Stern. Where it's like everybody has listened to his show at least once or has watched a video of him. We're losing a lot of like major players, right? Like we lost, what's his name? The guy from Jeopardy.
Oh yeah, Alex
Trebek.
Yep.
Like we're losing all these big heavy hitters, and right. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
So definitely rest in peace to him, and then our prayers go out to his family.
Absolutely.
For sure. Moving on to our movie news. Right now, actually, I want to start off with a really cool TV story that I had last week, and I didn't get to cover it because I think it came out and it was like a rumor, but this company had come out and said it was confirmed, and now it's all speculation. I couldn't find the article anymore, so I think they took it down.
Okay.
But then when I was looking for it, it seems like it might be back, and now it's just kind of being rumored. But Lars Mikkelsen is being rumored to be playing Admiral Thrawn in the Ahsoka series that's coming out. Ooh, and he's actually the voice actor for Admiral Thrawn in Star Wars Rebels. And he's also the brother of Mars Mikkelsen, which is kind of exciting. I didn't know that. I was just kind of like, what the heck? This is crazy.
This is one of those things where I think that since they casted Bo-Katan, the voice actress to play, I think they can do the same thing with Lars. He looks like him, phenomenal actor. So I wouldn't be surprised if they got him in there. I would really excited to see him.
Personally, I would love that, because I think anytime a voice actor gets to be like the actual version that is seen on the screen is a dream come true, right? Like you already kind of made the character your own with the voice, so it's like, why not bring that same dude who's already voicing him into the real world? Obviously, with Ahsoka, they went with a little bit more like credibility as far as fame goes with Rosario Dawson, but like it would have been cool to see the original voice actress also give it her best shot.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Let's see. We have some Disney news. Recently, they came out with their slate, basically showing an image of their slate for the next about 6-7 years up to 2028, their release date. So we have Untitled 20th Century Films. We have, of course, the Avatar films coming out. Avatar 2, 3, and 4, and 5, basically coming out for the next. Until 2028. And, there's other films on here. Let's see, we have like Turning Red, some more animated films, Lightyear, Black Panther 2. It gives you the whole roster of basically everything that's coming out. If you guys want to check it out, there'll be a link in our description. But a lot of untitled films, Pixar, Disney, Marvel. There's a whole roster, but it's going to be, they got it planned for the next 7 years. It's pretty crazy.
Wow. That's actually very, very, very exciting, if anything, for that company. And if you're an investor in Disney, like, you're gonna be having some good 7 years.
Yeah, this is
7
the time.
years of good luck.
Yep, absolutely.
Like that sounds like a great plan for them. And moving forward, I feel like Disney's just gonna become. They're already the behemoth in the industry. They own like I want to say 40% of all the films that are coming out, and it's just they're moving into becoming even bigger. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I know MGM was up for sale. Like, if they put a bid for MGM, you know, I don't know if they're talking about it or even if that's being speculated. And I know you have some news about some of the movies that have been delayed, which includes No Time to Die, which I'm really sad about, because I my mom even was like, she saw a little poster on it when, you know how all the previews come out on Apple TV, and she was like, oh, that movie never came out. And I was just like, yeah. She goes, man, I love Daniel Craig. And I was like, yeah, me too. And it just kind of sucks, because it's like, I feel like he that was his last one, or right? That was going to be his final one? Or was it
farewell for James Bond? Absolutely. They're going to recast for somebody. People were saying like Idris Elba and other actors like that, but not confirmed yet.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Speculation speculation is the name of the game when it comes to movie and TV. Like, if I'm being honest, we have a lot of rumors in this episode that we're going to be discussing. But moving on to something that isn't a rumor and is something that is confirmed for all you Apple TV lovers out there, we have the movie called Kitbag coming out by Ridley Scott. He's going to be directing. It's going to be an epic about the French conqueror Napoleon Bonaparte. And Joaquin Phoenix is going to be playing the titular role, which is very exciting. You know, I feel like bringing Joaquin to any project is
exciting for
fantastic,
sure.
You know, like
that's going to be awesome. Makes me just another reason why to get Apple TV, right?
Right. Yeah, dude, it's weird because I feel like they don't really have anything that has really caught people's attention. Like, they had Morning Show, and then they started to advertise that movie Greyhound with Tom Hanks, but I'm just like, nah, you know.
Yeah, it's not the full seller yet.
Yeah, like, I haven't seen something where it's like, oh, this is a must subscribe thing. You know, like Amazon has The Boys that I'm gonna go watch.
The big seller for sure.
Hulu has all of the latest shows, so they're on there the next day. You know, HBO Max has a great slate of originals, and so does Netflix. But it's like you're hoping that Apple TV really steps it up within this coming year and like delivers on their promise to, like, I think they said they're going to invest $1 billion in content.
Oh, geez. That's insane.
We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see.
Let's see, continuing on to some more Disney news. I got a lot of Marvel and Disney stuff. You know me, I'm always looking forward for more Marvel content. We got right here something when it comes to Hawkeye. Disney actually considered making this a film before they talked about making it to a Disney Plus series. So I thought this was cool because, you know, they were thinking about all the main the core six Avengers, that they wanted to give Hawkeye the time and the budget to be a huge film. And so the fact that it's a Disney Plus show now, I'm sure that it's going to be huge budget, it's going to have big scale, and it's going to be, you know, great storyline. And then we also have some Ant-Man 3 news. Michael Douglas seemingly confirms that Ant-Man should be coming out in 2022. He posted a photo on social media of himself talking about he's going to be growing out his goatee, saying check out Ant-Man in 2022. So, you know, whether or not that'll change, we'll let you guys know, but at least we have kind of a release window for that.
How weird is it to say, like, oh, 2022 now, and that's next year? You know, like, I'm still in the mindset of, like, 2022, that's 2 years away from now. Yeah, and that's no longer the case. Weird. And it's just it's a little strange to hear that, how we're now in this brand new year, and it's like the movies are getting closer, yet, you know, in your head you're still thinking, like, we're still stuck in 2020, but we're not. We moved on and moved past it, which is exciting. But speaking of Marvel, Thor 4 has casted Matt Damon in a mysterious role. People are saying, is he going to come back and extend on the cameo that he had in Ragnarok, or is he going to come back as a different character? They were saying that they're filming in Australia right now, and he had to be quarantined for 2 weeks before they shot, and they don't think that they would go through all that trouble just for a small cameo, so they think that he might be playing a much larger role. Also, Karen Gillian is returning as Nebula, which is very exciting. She's going to be in Thor 4. I think that movie is going to be an Avengers type. I mean, there's the craziest thing. I just want to say this. I feel like Marvel's movies now are all going to be like heavy set cast. Yeah. Like, like everybody's just going to be in it, because I'm already thinking Guardians is going to be packed. Thor is going to be packed. Spider-Man's going to be packed. And then Multiverse of Madness is going to be packed. And then I feel like all the standalone movies are the ones that are really going to be more tamed. Like, what is it? The Seven Rings one?
Shang-Chi, actually, that was pronounced. Yeah. That's going to be more of like a solo origin story. And then Captain Marvel might even be more of a bigger tie-in with the Disney Plus series, Miss Marvel. So I think Kevin Feige was talking about how they're going to be more bigger scale comics, you know, where you get the panel and it's like, oh, even though it's a Captain Marvel film or a Guardians film, you're going to have other Avengers in there tying in. It's going to be, each one is going to start being, little mini Avengers films, which I am all in for.
Absolutely. And this next one I talked about last week a little bit at the very end of the episode about Doctor Doom playing a role in the next Black Panther film, but now they're speculating that there's going to be 3 villains in Black Panther 2. Namor, who is the king of Atlantis, like we mentioned, there's going to be a war between Atlantis and Wakanda. Then obviously Doctor Doom, they're saying that Doctor Doom's not going to be a big baddie, but just play a small cameo similar to Thanos, where it's revealed that he's the one pulling the strings, which would be very cool. I think that's a great way to introduce him. And they're saying Killmonger might come back when it's revealed that he was revived, or maybe he never quite died and was surviving on some Wakandan tech that they have, because Wakanda has the most advanced technology. I wouldn't be surprised if they can bring back someone from the dead, or they never actually, they never let him die, which is such an easy, like, Kevin Feige could be like, guys, Killmonger is coming back, he didn't die in the last movie, it's like, okay.
That would be pretty cool.
It's kind of exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Black Panther. I think that'll be the wild card with Marvel, because with Chadwick Boseman, I want to see how they bring it back and make it more interesting. You know what I mean? But anyways, continuing on to talk about more of the delays. We mentioned No Time to Die earlier. We have, The Kingsman, and it was really, this whole week was announcements of all these delays. We have A Quiet Place 2 has now been pushed back to September of 2021. We have Ghostbusters Afterlife coming out in November now. Uncharted, February of 2022. And, just all these unfortunate delays due to the pandemic. And then we even have the Bob's Burgers film, which was supposed to be made, is now no longer on a slate to be a film anymore. So a lot of projects getting canceled, pushed back. It's unfortunate, but at least we're getting the news on it,
They said, sorry, Bob, you're canceled.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I used to be a big Bob's Burger fan, but then I kind of just fell off around season 8. Like, the show's it just keeps going, and it just, after a while, you're like, well, the humor's really, like, kind of dead now. Like, is it really still funny, or does it just feel like they're kind of dragging out storylines just to drag them out? And it's just like, I'm the type of person who, even if I don't like a season, like, how many people will be like, oh, that season was garbage. If I like a show because of their characters, even if the season's bad, I'm in love with the show so much that I look past that. And I'm just like, look, I got more episodes with these awesome characters, and I love that. But Bob's Burgers, like, I used to love the characters, and now I'm just like, it's a little exhausting to watch that show, I'll be honest. And speaking of exhaustion, Zack Snyder has now said that his series is now going to be a film once again. That is going to be 4 hours. And when I say exhaustion, that's for the people who can't stand to watch a 4-hour film. Personally, I'm going to watch the whole thing in one sitting. I might watch it twice.
Absolutely.
Like, it's going to be amazing. Like, if you were to tell me a year ago that Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut was going to come out, I would have called you a liar. But now I'm calling you, the greatest showman, because
nice.
You're amazing.
Nice. I know, right?
And I'm very excited. I'm very excited about this. And we've been hyping it up for like a couple weeks.
Yeah. We've been talking about it. I was
talking about it.
Personally, I don't like the series. That's just me, because I hate the wait, I would rather, sit through the whole thing. So definitely going to be excited to watch the whole thing in one sitting. We have some other fortunate news when it comes to release dates, though. Michael Bay's film Ambulance now gets a release date for February 18th, 2022. So this film is starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and Itza Gonzalez. It's going to be another action-packed film. I'm unsure if it's coming out on Netflix or in theaters. I'm sure probably the theaters by that time. But I mean, Jake Gyllenhaal, Michael Bay, that's a powerful duo.
Heck yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
I mean, Michael Bay, what was the last movie he did? The one with Ryan Reynolds? Was that the last movie he did?
Yeah, I'm lost the name, but it definitely came out for Netflix.
It's forgettable movies. So it's like
another action.
Sorry,
Michael Bay film.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, well, I could take the time to watch this, or I can go watch something that's actually very interesting. And I love Ryan Reynolds. Nothing, like,
he's the only highlight. He's the highlight for me in that one.
He was the highlight of that. But speaking of action movies, Suicide Squad is reportedly almost done, which is very exciting. This was according to James Gunn, and it was just revealed this week that it is going to be the highest budgeted R-rated movie ever made, which is very exciting. I think that's one of the cooler things about this movie. I mean, it had a top billed cast already, and just a ton of characters, and they even added more characters within the last couple of weeks. I remember that I read a story about that. So this is just going to be what this first Suicide Squad movie should have been, which is tons of people dying, tons of villains risking their life. Oh, hey, let's go. And then it's like, we lost 4 of them in the last mission. And it's like, oh no. All right, hire some more. Because the whole premise of Suicide Squad is like, oh, they're trying to get out of prison or reduce their sentences by going on these crazy missions. And the first one just felt more like Task Force X, right? Task Force X was like, hey, this is a specialized group that's going to go hunt down this. And then, obviously, Enchantress wasn't the best choice for a villain. But, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, there's many things you can get into it.
Right. like the whole, what's it called? What's Viola characters?
Viola Davis is Walt. Oh man, I'm going blank too.
Dude, I know.
Rider? No, not Wall Rider.
Amanda Waller. Yeah. Amanda Waller. She was great in that, but I just felt like they kind of like underplayed her like a little bit. Like the whole mission was just to go grab her because she was trapped, and then it was like, I thought this was leading up to something else.
It was very convoluted, but yeah, definitely looking forward to this new one. I think they're gonna really spice it up. James Gunn is bringing something to the table that Suicide Squad needed. That's
absolutely.
Continuing on, we have some more streaming news here. Paramount Plus, another streaming platform, is going to be launching here in the U.S. and Latin America on March 4th, which is pretty nuts.
What?
So this new streamer...
That's like right around the corner.
I know, it's pretty soon. It's going to be including BET, CBS, Comedy Central, MTV, Nickelodeon, and all Paramount Picture films, which, I mean, Paramount Pictures, they have heavy hitters. So just another one to think about getting.
Did they say anything about what's going to happen with CBS All Access? Is that just going to be sucked into that?
I assume so. I haven't gone to the details of the separate networks, but I do know that this one will be combining them,
Right. I mean, yeah, I'm sure if they're already saying CBS, I'm sure
buying it out.
CBS All Access is just going to disappear. Like how HBO had like 3 different streaming services, and now it's just HBO Max.
For sure.
Right. Next up, we have a really cool story about Henry Cavill. Everybody knows that he's not sure whether he wants to keep playing Superman. I think he's waiting to see how well Justice League does, which who doesn't want to wait to see how that movie does? But apparently, people are already speculating that he might be replaced by Matt Bomer.
Oh, yeah.
Who plays Negative Man on Doom Patrol. He actually looks really good as Superman. Like, there was some concept art I saw this week, and I was very quiet. Like, I was like, oh, okay, I could see him taking on the role, and Superman is like a big deal. Like whoever plays Supes, it has to be like you have to have the look, and you have to have that like almost
aroma,
like
that vibe, the atmosphere. Right. There's a lot that you
look at him and you're like, that guy is Superman, and then he puts glasses on, and you're like, that guy is not Superman. Anymore,
Clark Kent, that's him. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree.
Have you seen there was a Jimmy Kimmel did a video back in the day where it's like Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck are like going up to each other in that scene, and then he's like, wait, this is Superman. And then he tells him to take a picture with him, and then he puts his phone up, and he's like, wait a second, Batman? I got Superman and Batman in here, and it's just the funniest thing.
No, yeah, I remember that. It's classic.
Yeah. I watched it the other day because it just popped up on YouTube, and I was just laughing so hard. And then Jesse Eisenberg comes in as Luthor, and he's like, oh my god. How did I not see this? I'm the dumbest man in the world, and it's just like so
great
good.
scene.
It was so funny.
It went viral too. It was like a big one.
It did, right? Yeah. Because I mean, anytime you can get like the stars of a major movie like that to poke fun at themselves, I think you're gonna get a viral video.
Okay, so Euphoria season 2 is happening. It's actually coming. Have you seen any of Euphoria?
Dude, I've actually never watched that show before, and it's on my list. It's on my HBO stuff list, and I'm very excited when I do get to it because I've heard really good things, but it's not like on my priority list of things to watch right now, if I'm being completely honest. But I'm excited that it got renewed because it at least tells you that the show's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, have you seen it? You've watched it all?
Yeah, I've seen season 1. Yeah, it was all right. It's not my cup of tea, but I mean, I'll check out season 2 just to see what they got cooking,
I mean, I think what drives that show is just Zendaya's star power.
Yeah, she's the highlight for sure. Her acting is phenomenal. It's pretty great.
Awesome. Next up, we have the biggest story, I think, or if not one of the biggest stories to come out this week. And it was, I don't know if it necessarily came out this week, but I found it. And it's about the Lord of the Rings series and how they're going to be spending $1 billion on the whole show. And right now they're saying there's going to be 5 seasons. They're shooting 2 seasons back to back already, so that means 2 guaranteed seasons. and then they're gonna see how many come out. Sorry, then they're gonna see how much money it comes out of that, and then see whether they decide if they want more seasons or not. Yeah. But obviously, they're gonna get all 5 seasons because it's Lord of the Rings and people love it. But they're saying the show seasons might have anywhere from 8 to 10 episodes. Okay. And it's just going to depend, varying. But I just wanted to talk about a little bit of what the show is going to be about. So it says, this is what the synopsis that Amazon officially released. It says, the story is set thousands of years before the events of The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings movies, and will take viewers back to an era in which great powers were forged. Kingdoms rose to glory and fell to ruin. Unlikely heroes were tested. Hope hung by the finest of threads. And the greatest villain that ever flowed from Tolkien's pen threatened to cover all the world in darkness. Wow. I think it's a great little synopsis. It says, and then it adds, beginning in a time of relatively, a peaceful time, the series follows an ensemble cast of characters both familiar and new as they confront the long-feared reemergence of evil to Middle-earth. From the darkest depths of the misty mountains to the majestic forests of the elf capital of Lindon, to the breathtaking island kingdom of Numenor, to the furthest reaches of the map, these kingdoms and characters will carve out legacies that live on long after they are gone. Wow. So the island kingdom of Numenor doesn't crop up in, it doesn't, like, I guess it's not mentioned in the films as much. And Lord of the Rings, they're saying that they believe this is going to be the central location to the whole series. Oh, okay. And they're saying that this show, the first season, is going to come out at some point in 2021, which is crazy to think about because we haven't even seen a trailer. We haven't even seen anything come out. And it could easily get pushed back and be like, hey guys, it's actually coming 2022, right? Absolutely. But they're saying it's gonna come out at some point. I'm saying holiday 2021, probably towards the end of the year. But there's also speculation of a new Lord of the Rings movie coming from Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers owns the film rights and Amazon owns the TV rights. So Warner Brothers might make a movie just because there's so much hype from the TV show that they're like, guys, let's make a Lord of the Rings movie, make some money, which is not a bad business move. And they're saying it's going to be about the fall of Morgoth. And that's all rumors again, but there is a movie that's going to come. That's not a rumor, but the rumor is that it might be about the fall of Morgoth. And that's just all of the Lord of the Rings news that I was able to find. I haven't seen much of anything else come out about it, but I hadn't heard anything about it, and I thought I'd report it here on episode 2. Absolutely, so I think it's exciting.
Absolutely, I think with a budget like that coming out for Amazon, I think that's probably one of the biggest show budget I've seen ever, really, of any platform. That's going to be definitely looking forward to checking that one out. Let's see, we have some new news when it comes to films releasing. We have some trailers that came out. We talked about Superman a little bit earlier. A new trailer for the CW show, Superman and Lois, released this past week. And it actually looked kind of like Snyder-y, as people were comparing it. Even though Zack Snyder doesn't really have like a film taste. But it looks more gritty and looks more cinematic for CW in terms of CW shows. And then we also have the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer releasing today as of release of this video. So definitely looking forward to checking that out. That'll be coming out on HBO Max as well as in theaters. That's gonna be.
And let's be honest, guys, we haven't seen the trailer because obviously we're recording this the day before, but we all know that movie's gonna be awesome. Yeah, like, I can already tell you, Godzilla vs. Kong, like, it's been in the works for years, ever since they made that first Godzilla movie in 2008. I am so excited. I watched Kong Skull Island with Ryder at the TLC. I mean TCL Chinese Theater over there in Los Angeles, and I'm telling you, bro, this was the best movie to watch in that theater because it's just so awesome. And like, then they came out with Godzilla King of Monsters, and it's just like, I'm really excited to see how this movie turns out because tomorrow I'm gonna be hyping it up all day. So y'all better go check out this trailer because that movie's gonna be epic.
Agreed, definitely. Oh, speaking of monsters, I guess I could use my segue into Jurassic World. I kind of want to get into some Jurassic World news. Now, this is pretty exciting, and you heard about this as well. The director, Colin Trevorrow, recently came out, and he talked about that this film is going to be the culmination of all 6 of the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films, culminating all of them, celebrating the franchise. We got the original cast, and we're including Bryce Dallas Howard, Chris Pratt. I mean, it's gonna be an awesome film. It's crazy how long it's been, but I mean, I'm looking forward to it. What about you?
I'm very excited. I think the first Jurassic Park was 1993, right? I think that's when it first came out.
That sounds about right. I think so.
That sounds about right. I want to.
I think.
No,
So,
I know.
yeah.
I think that's accurate. I think that's what I saw. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Jeff Goldblum cameo, which we all love a little Jeff.
Oh, absolutely. Goldblum. Yeah.
Like he has his own show on Disney Plus that I haven't checked out. I think it's like Jeff Goes Around or something.
Oh,
like that.
The
or
World
like,
According to Jeff Goldblum. Yes, that's a good one.
I definitely want to see. I haven't checked it out. I'll be honest, but I do like. I've met Jeff Goldblum once, and it was on a red carpet, and it was so cool because he actually took the time to talk to the network that we were interviewing him. You know, a couple celebrities with, but he took the time and he was like, you know, he did a little fancy outro,
cool.
you know, for them. And sometimes celebrities don't like to do all that stuff. They'll do the interview and they're like, oh, sorry, I gotta go. They'll keep walking because there's, you know, you'll go to a red carpet for a major event and there will be at least 40 to 50 outlets trying to get interviews from these people. And like sometimes it's about yelling the proper thing to, you know, get their attention. You know, and like I'll share some stories here and there during the podcast about some of the cool stuff that's happened in Los Angeles before COVID. But that was definitely one of the coolest ones where I was like, oh my gosh, I've seen this guy on TV so many times. Not that that's all that I care about, but it was definitely exciting.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Next up, I got MCU's Daredevil is reportedly going to be a mostly rebooted version. So they're going to start parts of the story over. They're still going to have the same actor. And then he's still going to be playing Daredevil, and the Kingpin storyline is still going to be there. But apparently everything that happened in the Defenders storyline is just going to be ignored, according to Kevin Feige, which is interesting. I guess we mentioned it in the last episode about how the Defenders have a way to come back into the MCU. But for him to just be like, guys, just scrap that whole show because it was just garbage. Like, it really was kind of hot garbage. Like, when it first came out, I think everybody rated it like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, it wasn't that good, yeah. But it's an interesting call for sure. As long as I like that they're bringing back the original actor, Charlie Cox, and they're bringing back, you know, some of the original actors in these Netflix shows. But yeah, when it comes to story, I don't mind the reboot. You know, I want to see how they intertwine it to the MCU. Maybe there'll be Disney Plus series, or maybe there'll be, you know, feature films. But either way, I think bringing the original cast is the best call.
Yeah. Hey, Charlie, nice Cox.
Oh my God.
Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox. Yeah. Oh my God.
I wonder if people ever make that joke to him. He probably gets annoyed. He's
probably sick of it. Yeah.
He's probably like, guys, no, it's not real.
Oh my gosh.
Next up, speaking of an MCU actor, Tom Holland and Timothee Chalamet are reportedly eyed to star in Wonka, a prequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Once again, this is one of those movies where it's like, who is asking for this? Who in their right mind is going, guys, you know what we need right now? A prequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm talking about, how does Willy Wonka start?
Yeah.
Where does this guy come from?
Man.
Where did he get the Oompa Loompas? We must know. And I'm just sitting there going like, why?
Yeah, I know, no, because they kind of give the whole backstory in the movie, Charlie. I mean, at least in the rebooted film with Johnny Depp, they give a little, you know. But like, it's just one of those things where it's done and it's dead and gone, and we're ready to move on. But whatever. I mean, the more the merrier, right? The more the merrier. Anyways, okay, we have.
I guess so.
We have some Game of Thrones news. So we have another prequel has actually entered development at HBO. We've been talking about recently another show that they were doing a spinoff. This is another one now. It's gonna be called Tales of Dunk and Egg. It follows the adventures of Sir Duncan and the tall and young Aragon the Targaryen. 90 years before A Song of Ice and Fire.
Targaryen?
Yeah, you have to forgive me. I don't know anything about Game of Thrones. I have only seen one episode of the last season. But yeah, so for those of you that are interested, it takes place 90 years before A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm guessing that's probably a plot line in the original show, or probably a book. It's probably one of the books or something. I don't know, but at least you're informed on another spinoff. Hopefully, it's interesting. I guess we'll be covering.
I've only seen the last 3 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And that was just because my brother started binge watching it right before the last season.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me jump in on this, but I jumped on the train way too late. But it was still great. It was very captivating.
Yeah.
And if you personally, I'm like that. Game of Thrones to me was one of those shows where, like how I explained at the beginning, where I love the characters so much that personally I enjoyed the last season, and I actually liked the ending because it was very different. They didn't go in a direction that was like pleasing to the fans, which I feel like not every show has to be pleasing to the fans, you know, like or every movie has to give you that, this is where it's headed, because then it's just like, oh, it's too predictable, you know, and like sometimes predictability ruins a show, in my opinion, and it ruins a movie in the same way. So the fact that they went and said, you know what, this girl's a crazy bitch all of a sudden, it was fantastic. I love that direction.
180.
Destroy a kingdom. Why not? I just didn't like the way they killed her. I thought the way they killed her was kind of dumb, but whatever. For all you Game of Thrones fans out there, or people who don't know anything about Game of Thrones, sorry about it. I spoiled it, but the show's been out for a while.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's cool. I don't, it's fine.
Yeah. Next up, really cool story. Probably one of the coolest ones I found. Liam Neeson, who's kind of been in hiding because we haven't seen him in a while, says he has been in talks to reboot the Naked Gun series. If you know anything about the Naked Gun series, that was Leslie Nielsen, one of his biggest franchises that he kind of started and made famous. I think there was like 3 movies that they made with him, if not more. But it would be very exciting. I think that'd be a great place to put Liam Neeson as a comedic and kind of like witty, actiony actor that kind of fits right up his alley. I would be very happy with that casting personally.
Yeah, okay. Super interesting. Okay. See, as for me, I'm sort of wrapping up on my side of things. I have more light news right now, more kind of quick headlines to get through. Netflix has officially renewed Bridgerton for season 2. I know that show's getting pretty hyped lately, at least I've seen on social media. A lot of people are starting to watch that one. So for you fans out there, season 2 is coming. We have Peaky Blinders. The creator Stephen Knight confirms that a movie is in development and more TV series are planned to tell the story of the family. So I've yet to get into Peaky Blinders, but I know that there's a huge fan base around it and that it's kind of a cult phenomenon. It seems like, right?
It is kind of like a cult phenomenon, and people love to say it's the fucking Peaky Blinders. They just,
oh man,
I don't know what it is, but like they love saying the title of it in a weird, kind of Irish accent. But
yeah, for sure. Okay. Let's see. We have some Amazon.
Exciting.
Yeah, for sure. We have Marvelous Miss Maisel. I know. You're a fan of this one, right? Marvelous Miss Maisel has started shooting season 4. So of course, this is the Amazon Prime original starring Rachel Brosnahan. Season 4 is coming. It's pretty crazy. I mean, Emmy Award winning, right, for a lot of things. Original comedy, right? So one of those, right? Best actress, something like that.
She's won Golden Globes for her performance, and I've had the chance to meet Rachel Brosnahan twice. I have her email.
Oh my God,
she's really great. She's awesome. She's a great person. It's funny. One night, after a long night at the Critics' Choice Awards, I actually ended up at a hotel where they were like, "Hey guys, there's an after party." And like it was like 2 a.m. right? So I ended up was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take off because I'm super tired. I was kind of like drunk, and Rachel Brosnahan was in the lobby, and I went up to her and I was like, "Yo!" And she was like, "Hey, Luigi, right?"
No,
and I was like,
she didn't know his name. No,
I kid you not.
I'm messing.
Because she was with her dad, and she like introduced me to her dad, and like I had already seen her at the award show because I went and said hi because the previous year, and this is the crazy part. Me and my friend Christine, 2 weeks before we went to the Critics' Choice Awards for the second time, we literally started watching Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and she showed it to me, and I was like, I told her that day after we watched the first episode, I was like, we're gonna meet Midge, right, which is who she plays. 2 weeks later, we're over there taking pictures with Rachel Brosnahan, and
wow,
tell me the Lord doesn't work in mysterious ways, because He does, and I am a testament for it because it was so awesome. It was. I have those pictures, moment. And they live in my brain every day. Because I thought she's awesome, dude. She's one of my favorite actresses.
Some would say it lives in your head rent free, right? I've been seeing that a lot lately. Anyways, for this right? I got one more real quick headline. Jim Gaffigan has been casted as Smee in Disney's live action Peter Pan and Wendy film. So apparently Jude Law is going to be playing Captain Hook, and this is the film. David Lowery is directing this one.
I like that casting.
You're going to have Yara Shahidi playing Tinkerbell. She's, of course, from ABC's hit show Blackish. So pretty star-studded cast already for this. But I mean, this is my opinion. Peter Pan has already been overdone so many times. There's so many spin-offs and reworks of the Peter Pan storyline. So
that's true.
I'm hoping that Disney kind of makes this a little more different. But who knows? It might just be another reboot from Disney or something,
Right. It might just literally be the original. And like, hey, guys, now it's another live-action version.
Same. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And speaking of Yara Shahidi, her show Grownish actually just came back for the second part of their 3rd season. Very, very awesome show. If you've never watched Grownish, it is one of the best like college age show that just kind of tackles I would say the early 20s and just that life. And it's got a great cast and excellent writing, and it's one of my absolute favorite shows to watch. And I've binge watched it a couple times, and I'm just happy that it's back because it's so funny. And I got another headline here from Amazon. I'm sure you've seen this one if you're a fan of The Boys. Apparently, they're going to be tackling an extremely R-rated storyline called Herogasm. And the premise is basically the boys are going to be sneaking into Vought's secret annual party known only as Herogasm. And as it turns out, the event is just an entire weekend of debauchery on a secluded island packed with sex and illegal drug use.
Oh my God.
And the writer of the show literally described it as a hero orgy, and it's an adults only episode. And I'm just in my head going like,
gosh,
what?
This
like,
show,
this is so crazy, you know?
This
like,
show cannot get more bonkers, but I think it's what people need, especially when it comes to superheroes, because the world's already so oversaturated with so many superhero films. I think The Boys was really the forefront at, you know, changing the script and being outside the box. But man, they do it so well. Well,
what I love about that show is that they're not afraid to show the gore side of things. Like a man explodes and there's blood all over the place. Like, oh my God, it's so realistic that you're just like, holy shit. You know, like right? when Moonlander, no,
Homelander, yeah.
When Homelander literally like zaps somebody like Superman, you see him explode, and you're just like, oh my, like I was not prepared for that. But
that's
like,
what you want to see, though, like evil Superman going off, you know,
low key. You know, low key, you kind of do. So it's kind of cool that Amazon is letting them do whatever the fuck they want.
You know, right? Yeah, for sure.
I got another update here from Netflix. Netflix apparently has passed 200 million subscribers. This is a huge milestone for a streaming service. I think they're the first ones to reach it. And they actually right now have 203.7 million people who subscribe. And they gained 37 million in 2020. And exciting stuff, for the first time this year, they're saying they might break even. Because if you know anything about Netflix's business platform, they essentially roll over their debt by making new shows until the point where they finally calculated they'd have enough subscribers to, you know, kind of surpass how much money they spend. Because, you know, these people spend like $8 billion a year on content.
Yeah.
And 2019 saw a cash loss of $1.5 billion, and 2020 saw a cash loss of $138 million. So the number decreased. So this year, they might make a profit. Who knows? We'll see. But kind of interesting as a business model from a streaming service to know that's how it works.
Okay, so up next, I saw this one right here. The Marvel's Secret Invasion is reportedly starting filming in April. And I heard about this recently. It's pretty crazy how fast they're kind of getting the ball rolling on some of these Disney Plus series. Because I think they already have Miss Marvel's already in production right now. And then you have the Hawkeye series in production. So they're really just hitting the ground with all these Disney Plus shows. Falcon and Winter Soldier's coming out in a couple weeks. Of course, this show's gonna be starring Sam Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn. It's basically the iconic comic book storyline of some of the Skrulls have infiltrated the world, and now they're, you know, who knows who's actually a Skrull, which is a shapeshifter, or who's a regular Avenger. So there's many possibilities for how this show can turn out. I'm hoping it's much more large scale than kind of a smaller storyline, but who knows? Because it is Disney Plus in the series, so it's all up for debate.
I mean, I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to lead us into a couple other projects. Samuel L. Jackson's going to be in that. And I feel like, you know, Secret Invasion essentially is like you were saying about the Skrulls, and kind of more coming off of the Captain Marvel storyline. So I'm interested to see how that ties in, because I feel like we're going to start seeing the map play out of all the TV shows and movies start to really intertwine, creating a web of different crossovers and just mix up of characters. It's going to be exciting.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited for that. Another show I'm very excited about, and I'm sure a lot of people were when it was at its peak about, you know, I want to say it's like 2 years ago, Master of None by Aziz Ansari. Season 2, you know, he wrapped up. He was in Italy. Apparently, season 3 might be coming, and it's going to be set in a completely different place in London this time. And we're going to get Naomi Aki from Star Wars, Fall of Skywalker, as the new love interest. It's kind of cool, you know, switching it up. Definitely really exciting to see that show come back. Because honestly, it was one of the best, like, that was one of their starter like comedies that really kind of took off a couple years ago. And, you know, Aziz Ansari had all that controversy, and then Netflix let him come back with his stand-up special right now. And it was probably one of the best stand-up specials I've seen from a comedy, from a stand-up comic in a really, really long time. You know, I think him and Chappelle always deliver, but like if you've never seen Right Now by Aziz Ansari on Netflix, like go watch it right now, because it's so good. It's all about how, you know, you got to live in the present moment and like observing things from a perspective of like, you know, having mindfulness and being aware of other people, and like, you know, not everything has to be triggering or has to, you know, make you want to cancel somebody, but instead like, hey, make sure you gather all the facts, make sure you have all the information before you just go and try to like ruin somebody's career over nothing. You know, it's a very, very great perspective that he shows and shares in that. It's kind of cool. You have anything else?
That's it for me. I've wrapped up from my side. What about you?
I have three more stories here. First off, WandaVision. The budget for WandaVision was reportedly $225 million, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
If you have been keeping up with our WandaVision series here on Strictly Casual, you go and watch the next video that's about to release, because we have been covering that show like crazy. And if you're a fan of theories and Easter eggs, go check out our TikTok, Strictly Casual Official. We're covering it all. WandaVision right now is our biggest Marvel focus, if you really want to talk Marvel. But I just wanted to bring that up, a little plug. But Falcon and Winter Soldier was apparently $150 million to make. So those are just a little money, trivia out there if anybody's curious. But now into some big news. We got a exclusive report here. Christopher Nolan is saying that he's unlikely to work with Warner Brothers after HBO Max announcement. So we all know that HBO said that they basically are going to have all their movies on the same day that they air in theaters be on HBO Max. And Christopher Nolan said, you know what, that actually hurts theaters and it kind of ruins the whole point of making a movie. Because he believes he's one of those old filmmakers, like I would say like Martin Scorsese or like a Tarantino, where it's like they make movies because they want to see them on the big screen. Absolutely. Right, which is the whole point of a Hollywood cinema. But for him to see his movie on a streaming service at home, it kind of defeats the purpose, so he's kind of mad. But a fun fact, he hasn't made a movie without Warner Brothers in 20 years. The last movie he made was Memento in 2001, which actually that blew my mind. I was like, wow, like that's kind of crazy to think about. Like, for 20 years, he's been partnered with Warner Brothers, and because of this announcement, he's like, you know what, guys? I don't think I want to do this anymore. And it's interesting because we had talked about how, in a previous show, What's Poppin', we had talked about how, Christopher Nolan wanted to do another superhero movie. So who knows? Maybe he might get scooped up and become part of Disney. The Marvel franchise.
I wouldn't be surprised. I always think about like a director like Nolan feels so, like old cinema, but then you remember that he did do 3 Batman films. He did such a great job at making them grounded and doing a comic book film. So I wouldn't be surprised if he dabbles into the Marvel universe or does something maybe more, obscure and something, left field, but still superhero. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I have right here one of the coolest stories. I don't know if you guys are fans. This is more of video game news, but if you're a fan of Terminator or you're a fan of the Predator movies, Fortnite, the game, has added both of those skins into their game. You can now play as Sandra Connor or the T-800 right now, or exclusively if you have the Battle Pass, you can get the Predator skin just for buying the Battle Pass. It's an exclusive skin, and it's so cool to see the Predator skin in the game. Like that was one of the first movies I watched when I was a kid. My dad loved that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's so cool to see that in a game that I play all the time. I just wanted to give that little plug because it's still movie related, but definitely a fan of what they do, and always cool to see new skins come into that show. I got this last headline, and this one is a mind boggler. It's a rumor, / confirmed / who knows.
Confirmed. Oh my.
Because here's the thing. We know that Joaquin Phoenix is signed up for another Joker movie, but now they're saying that those Joker movies are going to be an inspiration for the real Joker. So Arthur Fleck isn't going to be the real Joker, but he's going to be the inspiration to what once gives us the Joker, which some people speculated, but now they're saying Jude Law might come in and play an older Joker.
What the heck?
Crazy,
right?
This is nuts. So many people are being considered for the role of the Joker in Robert Pattinson's universe as the Batman. Okay. And so they're saying Jude Law might come into that. Personally, I'd like to see Joaquin do it because I think he's so excellent in that.
Absolutely.
And I think they should just make Arthur the official Joker. But obviously, business people are like, well, if we can have Joker be its own little separate franchise and then we make another Joker and we plug him into this movie, then we're just making money all over the place, which I understand. But it's definitely an interesting rumor, and I just wanted to throw it out there. I always like to leave you guys with one last rumor before we wrap up the show. And I think we should go back to doing something that we used to do, and that's our recommendations. Have a little recommendation at the end of each of our episodes. Me and Ryder love doing this. We recommend a different show or movie that we've watched, just so you guys can have all sorts of great content, because we only watch the best, and we only deliver the best news and updates right here on Freeze Frame. So Ryder, what is your recommendation this week?
Well, I recently got Hulu, and so I've been binge watching a pretty hilarious show. You know about it too. What We Do in the Shadows, the series.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The reboot of the Taika Waititi film, What We Do in the Shadows. Oh my gosh, this show, I didn't This is my new comfort show. I didn't think how much I'd like it, but I have binge watched. I'm scared to finish it. That's how much I like it. You know,
dude,
I'm like afraid
you're
to
like
continue.
me when I was watching it, man. I was the same
so
way.
good.
I was like, why is every episode so funny? Like,
I know, right?
It's one of the few shows where I've watched and I've genuinely like laughed out loud at some point or another because the writing is just so absurd.
Yeah.
You know, I love absurd comedy because it's actually like really ridiculous. They don't care about anything, and it's more of just like, guys, let's just poke fun about everything. And it's just vampires, and go watch it. If you have Hulu, go watch it. Like, it's just top notch service. Like, you're gonna get the best.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of a classic here. I started rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know if you guys have any 9-9 fans out there.
Nice.
I love this show. This is absolutely my favorite show of all time. I love Andy Samberg. I love the cast of Terry Crews. You know, you just have so many good characters in that.
That's on Hulu
it's
too, right?
It's a fun show. That is on Hulu.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'll have to check that out.
We're Hulu heads this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. Good call.
And it's just an all around great show, great stories. You know, it deals with cops, but it's more of like funny cops that just they take their job seriously, but there's also a lot of comedic elements that they put in that, and it's one of the best shows I've ever watched. So definitely a great recommendation coming at you guys. And I think that wraps us up this week.
That wraps us up. Absolutely.
Isn't that everything? Oh my god.
That's everything.
There was so much. Wait, I just saw one that I totally forgot about.
Oh, here we go.
Batman the Animated Series is getting a reboot, according to Kevin Smith. That's it. That's the last piece of news I got.
What the heck?
I didn't see it.
Series.
The animated series, isn't that crazy?
So is this based on? So Kevin Smith, is he the showrunner, or is it just like on a speculation based off of him?
No, he's saying that it's happening, and he's pretty in tune with like what's going on in the world of comics. So I'd say, you know, if he's saying it's happening, it's probably happening. You know?
Okay, maybe we could see Kevin Conroy come back, right? Because he's been the voice for so long of Batman.
Dude, if we even see Kevin Conroy or even Mark Hamill return, that show's gonna be a hit.
Absolutely.
You know? So
Agreed.
Either one of them, I think we're in for it. But yeah, I totally forgot about that. I just saw it on my screen. Wanted to throw it out there before the episode ended. I didn't want to miss it like the Admiral Thrawn story last week. So just wanted to make sure I got it in there. Anyways, guys, that's it for us this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. To all of our audio platform listeners on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, everywhere that you're listening to this. If you're watching this on YouTube or you tuned into us, you know, on Twitch, thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate you guys. We enjoy doing this. It's so much fun. It's just fun to talk about movies and TV. And I couldn't have asked for a better person to do it with. Ryder, final words?
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great week. We'll catch you next time with all the news headlines and movie and TV. Bye, buddy.
See you guys later.